Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Flat Earth School. The school that is around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I'm Mitchell from Australia, and this is the brand new epic King of Black Swans by BMLSB69. Go and subscribe to him today. Bo, he's awesome. He deserves so many subscribers. He just keeps going out there and just smashing this thing, just getting that footage that is unbelievable. And hopefully, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm just going to go through it today. We're going to break down the video, break down what we're seeing. I'm going to compare it to other observations that we have seen in the past. Obviously, the first black swan, which was presented in the way that we now know it in the Modus tollens back in January 1, 2020. Hello, Owen. Yeah, great new footage. It is absolutely glorious to be a flat earther right now. Sleeping Warrior, how are you, mate? Servius D, hello, hello. Johnny Z says he doubts that we can open the coffin of the globe to put the C4 in, as there are too many nails in it. I love that sentiment, Johnny. Okay, we don't have to open the coffin of the globe. We can just dig it up. We can just pack it with C4 around the outside. How's that? We don't need to put it in the inside. Yeah, it is an absolute glorious time to be a flat earther right now. There are so many flat earth proofs, and there are so many globe debunking proofs. Like, it's endless. We just keep coming up with more and more. Bo, BMLSB69, he's come up with his footage. This image you see on screen right now, that is Platform Grace. Platform Grace is about just under 20 miles away. And that in itself is just a new black swan. Because 20 miles, you can see that the distance to the horizon is far in the background past Platform Grace. But the real kill shots in the background right there. Left of the Platform Grace is Anacapa Rock and Arch. Now they are at 85-foot elevation. Bo, on the other hand, is at 1.5-foot elevation. Now, I'm going to go through the video soon if everyone hasn't seen it. Yeah, so if you're seeing, so that Anacapa Arch is 31.82 miles away. He is seeing that horizon in the distance there, in between Anacapa Arch and Anacapa Rock, that bit of horizon where the sky appears to meet the land, the sea. Yeah, if we're seeing that from 1.5 foot, which we definitely are, 31.82 miles away. Your new radius for your globe, if you still think it's a globe, globe believers, is 1.77 million miles. That's just the radius. Double that for the diameter. Imagine the circumference. Does anyone know what the radius of the sun is claimed to be in the heliocentric model? 430,000 miles. So what's this? Over 4 times the radius of the sun is your Earth now? Globe believers, is this what we're believing? Yeah, at this point, it's beyond a joke. We're absolutely taking the piss here. We're just having a bit of fun. Like, the globe has been dead since January 1, 2020. That's when the first black swan came out. And I think I might go through that first. The very first black swan was presented. It was footage from 2016 by Bo, BMLSB69. And it wasn't until around about January 1, 2020 that it was presented in a way that we could really understand what we're actually seeing. And once we realize what we're actually seeing, it's undeniable. There's a saying in my family anyway, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. That's because we're honest. Because once we see information, you can't just go back to the ways of thinking or seeing before you saw that piece of information. So when you see the black swan, if you're a globe believer, you've got 2 options. You can either take it as it is, accept that what we're seeing is beyond the geometric limitations of a globe with a radius of 3959 miles. And you can just accept that. You can start looking at flat Earth. You can see the other proofs. And there are so many. I went through 15 last week. 15 flat Earth facts from Taboo Conspiracy. Or the other option is become an anti-flat Earth and just go against the flat Earth arguments. Stick your fingers in your ears, cover your eyes, Google it online. What can debunk the black swan? I don't understand. Refraction, that's it. Refraction must be the answer. Oh yeah, refraction, light bends. I've seen that bending laser in the fish tank. Light can definitely bend. Look. It doesn't look, that's extreme refraction. It doesn't even have to bend that much to see something like the black swan. 1 foot observer height, 10-mile distance to the horizon. Light doesn't even have to bend that much, but you're still begging the question that there is a globe. No one has ever proven the globe to be a reality. Yeah, it's a kid's toy model, a classroom model in the back of lots of movie sets, lots of show sets. Yeah, it's predictive programming. Everyone knows what a globe looks like, that toy that we can spin around and go, there, that's where we live. But to reify that into existence to where we are actually living, nobody has actually done it ever. It is still yet to be done, globe believers. If you say that we are on a globe, please, we need evidence. We need proof. There is none, but we've got lots and lots of proof that it's definitely not a globe. Yeah, Just Jack Flair says the Earth is measurably and obviously flat and stationary. Yep, exactly what we observe. We don't have to go into imagination land for this. Bo, he takes his P1000 out. The original Black Swan was a P900. He takes his P1000 out. And this is the kind of images that we get. And that's what we can derive from these observations. If you still think you live on a globe, if you don't want to relinquish that globe, .5 foot observer height, 31.82-mile distance to the horizon. That comes out at 1.77 million mile radius. Over 4 times bigger than the claimed heliocentric sun, being 430,000 miles radius. Are we now 4 times bigger than the claimed heliocentric sun, globe believers? Like I keep saying, it is up to each individual to go through this journey alone, to come to the conclusion individually where you live. You need to prove it to yourself. If you're relying on other people for information, then you're being led astray, whether it be flat Earth or globe Earth. These flat Earth schools, I'm just showing you the world around us. Take these videos for what you can take them whatever you are. This is reality. I don't need to explain it to you. You look it up. If you're seeing the horizon, 31.82 miles from a 1 point observer height, 1.5 foot observer height here. Do it for yourself. Do the calculations. If you think you're living on a globe, how big does the globe have to be? Or the other option is just take it for an observation and just go, wow, yeah, that's a cool observation. We can see really far there. Not too far, because that's begging the question that we might be living on a globe. The globe has never been proven. We would never come to the conclusion by ourselves without being told that we're on a globe. We would never come to that conclusion that we're on a globe. You have to be told. You have to have that seed put in your head. But if you go out into the flat Earth school around you, it is the best teacher. It is reality. It is what we all need to do. All right, so we'll go back to, we'll start at the first black swan. Sorry, I haven't got any nice images or video of the sunrise this morning. It is a gloomy day here where I live, but it is not a gloomy day for flat Earth by any means. It is a gloomy day for the globe believers, if that's where you believe you still live. Alright, so this is the original Black Swan by BMLSB69. This was taken, I think, October 20th, 2016, and then presented by Quantum Eraser in the Modus tollens argument, January 1, 2020.
From Australia, and this is the #1 globe killer. Hopefully by now, all of you have seen this video by BMLSB69. His observer foot height is only 1 foot. Now that first platform is 6.2 miles away, and platform habitat is 9.4 miles away, with the horizon far in the distance beyond that. Now I'm going to let you just sit there and take this in, because this is the absolute #1 globe killer.
I'll pause it there. Let's go back a little bit. So, January 1, 2020. Since January 1, 2020 until pretty much last weekend, this was the #1 globe killer. From a 1 foot observer height, this is by Bo, same channel name, BMLSB69. This is the original Black Swan. Those platforms there, yeah, see the bendy cranes? You want to focus on that, Globus? Spin you around in the refraction argument again? These platforms here are just demarcation points. Platform habitat 9.4 miles, and you can see the horizon in the distance beyond that. So that is the argument here. Unfortunately, some people still don't get what the argument is. They're still looking at the platforms. They're just demarcation points. You can see the horizon in the background there. Yes, things can refract. They can loom. They can stoop, tower, mirage. They are all described as objects moving relative to the horizon. The horizon never moves itself. You can't refract a horizon relative to a horizon. Now that's, if you want to go into real refraction, that's real refraction, things that we can actually observe. But when the ballers look at this and they see the bendy cranes, they say, look, refraction, and what they really mean is terrestrial refraction. And that is a light bending from the observer to whatever you're looking at a rate of 7/6 of the R value, the radius of the Earth. Begging the question from the beginning, you need a radius value to have terrestrial refraction. Never been proven, never been shown. They pull up images and videos of that laser light in the fish tank with the salt gradient mix and see and show that light can be bent. Yeah, that is extreme circumstance, and that is Snell's law. That's going from, the laser is going from air through glass, through the water, which has a lot of sugar mixed into it. If everyone's ever tried that little observation, you need a lot of sugar. And then back through glass and back through air. And is at the points of the medium change from air to glass, glass to water, water to glass, glass to air. At those points, that's the interfaces. That's where Snell's law occurs, and that's where the laser is bending. It's not bending through the medium. And where do we see that medium? Looking from this observer to those platforms or to the horizon. Where is the different medium changes for Snell's law? Does not occur. And there is definitely no radius, because we are seeing that horizon in excess of 10 miles. And that's why I want to bring this image up first. In excess of 10 miles. We were being nice to the globe. We didn't quite know how far that horizon was in the background. We had a pretty good idea that it was past 9.4 miles. We could safely say back in January 1, 2020, that horizon was at, we called it 10 miles, just rounded it off, nice clean number. From 1 foot observer height, seeing a horizon at 10 miles, that put the radius of the globe, if you still believe that we are on a globe, that put the radius of the globe at 264,000 miles. And that was a joke at that point because the radius is meant to be 3959 miles, right, Globers? That is the narrative. And so the Modus tollens argument was formed by Quantum Racer. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If P, we live on a globe of radius 3959 miles, then Q, every single distance to horizon can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. So that's what we're meant to be seeing. That is the geometric limitations of your globe.
Modus tollens states, if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If P, we live on a globe of radius 3959 miles, then Q, every horizon distance measurement cannot be more than 1.23 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet. Not Q, the geometric horizon is far greater than 2.73 miles for 5 foot. Therefore, not P. The Earth is not a globe.
So that's the Modus tollens argument. And people are still a bit confused about what it is, what we're looking at. Is it a platform? No, it's the horizon in the background there. That is the observation here. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. So not Q, we are not seeing the distance to the horizon being limited to 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. We are seeing in excess of that with the black swan. 1 foot observer height, 10-mile distance to the horizon. From 1 foot, it can only be 1.22 miles to the horizon. We're seeing in excess of 10 miles. So that brings us to over the weekend. A couple of days ago, Bo, BMLSB69, he's updated his black swan. He's got, this was from the P900, and these images are going to be from the P1000. Technology is great, isn't it? Definitely not science. Don't be claiming science here. But this observation here, this is the killer. All right, let's go back to the start of the video here. So, from Miramar Beach, Santa Barbara, California, the 28th of October, 9:30 a.m. And notice that both these observations were both in October. Isn't it amazing that October produces these absolute awesome phenomena that we can observe? So this is just Bo showing that he is walking down the stairs, showing that the observer height is going to be so low and so unbelievable that this is why I'm saying we're digging up the globe here, because it has already been proven from 1 foot observer height, we're seeing the 10-mile distance to the horizon. The globe's already dead. But Bo, he just wants to keep going out and pushing the limits, pushing to see how far we can actually see the horizon at. So he's put all the weather in, just for the people who want to look it up. And we've got a few things going on here. So just pause it there. So we've got a few distances that we're going to go through, because this isn't just about platform habitat and platform hill house. Yeah, they're the nice closed ones. Because we've got platform Grace, platform Gilda, platform Gale, and then in the background, Anacapa Arch. So you can see where this is going straight away if we're doing these distances to begin with. And let's just see how far they are from Miramar, where Bo was standing. What's the distance? Habitat, 9.41 miles. To Grace, 19.81 miles. To Gilda, 21.28 miles. To Gale, 24.71 miles. And to Anacapa Arch, 31.82 miles from Bo's observer position. All right, so he's upgraded his camera. He's got the P1000. You can put it through Earth curve calculator if you want. He's going to put that P1000 down on this rock here. Observe a height of 1.5 foot. Going through the calculations, yeah, from a 1.5 foot observer height, the geometric horizon, the geometric limitations of your globe believers, it could be no more than 1.5 miles. You know, Earth curve, the geometric horizon, the thing that blocks the bottom of ships. We've been through this argument before. So from 1.5 foot observer height. Right here, this is a new black swan. That's platform habitat. On the right of it, platform hill house. 9.4 miles to that platform habitat on the left. You can see the horizon is far in the distance. So I thought that was land in the background. I said, is that an island out there that we're seeing? Is that even the horizon? But no, it doesn't line up with any land. That is the horizon. It's just so thick, so pronounced. There is no denying that we are definitely seeing that horizon way past 9.4 miles. And I put a bit of a comparison. I've taken this video and I put a few screenshots in just to compare this new black swan, and this isn't even the best one. So this is on the left here, October 21, 2016. That is the original black swan. You can see the horizon is just past those rocks there. Sorry, past the platform. Okay, we called that 10 miles. Where's that horizon now in the new black swan on the right? October 29th, 2021. It's brilliant, isn't it? Like, this has just got the premise of absolutely busting the globe again. It is beautiful. And this isn't even the best part. And you can still see those bendy cranes. You're going to focus on them again, globe believers, the trap that quantum erasers set. Because I'll admit, I didn't want to use that image on the left of the bendy cranes. There were other images that Bo got that didn't have bendy cranes in them. And we all suggested to quantum eraser saying, oh, they're going to say refraction. And quantum eraser just comes back to us and says, I want them to say refraction. And we can see why. When you say, globe believers, that refraction is causing the horizon to be seen from a 10-mile distance, from a 1 foot observer height, is that the geometric limitations to your globe? No, we wouldn't expect to see the geometric horizon. At best, all you've done is disprove the radius of the globe. It has now become an apparent horizon. Welcome to flat Earth. That is our argument. That we don't actually have a physical Earth curve, geometric horizon that blocks the bottom of ships. Yeah, the ships go over. Your edge, globe believers. For ships to go over, for things to get, for disappear, bottom up, for obstruction of things at a distance, you no longer have a geometric horizon, a physical Earth curve, if you say that this horizon is being refracted. That is the trap, and you fell straight into it and you continue to fall straight into it. You now don't have a physical Earth curve for your horizon. When you go up high altitude in balloons, balloon footage, that is the same horizon. You still no longer. Why do you think you can go up and you don't have refraction anymore, globers, in your paradigm? You will still have to believe that there is refraction and you're not actually seeing the geometric horizon. So what's the point of going up higher? Even if you say footage from the ISS, are you still not looking through that atmosphere in your globe religion? Obviously, begging the question so many times that you have space, that the ISS is somewhere that people reside and can film over. And you're looking down at a globe, and you have atmosphere, spherical shaped Earth. So many begging the questions, like I went over 2 days ago in Globe Earth School. How to beg the question. That's all they do. These things haven't been proven in the first instance. But why do you think that going up higher is going to see any different to what we see down here if you claim that that horizon is refracted? You're still looking through that atmosphere, the bendy light through the bendy air. That's your paradigm. That's what you have to believe. For us, we see these images and go, wow, that's awesome. That's cool. Look how far that horizon is. Look past 10 miles, it's definitely not a globe, like we've been told. There's the paradigm that we live in. There's the lie that we've been told. And this is the number one globe killer on the left since January 1, 2020. And now we've got a new globe killer. And this isn't even the best one on the right here, October 29th, 2021. That's not even the best one. And you can see that horizon. Look how far that is past the original black swan with the P1000 on this day. Yeah, it's a 1.5 foot observer height, but you are seeing so much further. And we're going to see, going through this video, how much further we can actually see. Let's continue playing. So obviously this is just another enhanced image of one of the new black swans. You can see that horizon is so far in the distance. I think this is just comparing that we can definitely see the bottom of those platforms. Just go back to the other one. So this is just an image of the actual platform hill habitat. You can see the shadows on the ground beneath it, cast by the platform. Yeah, take note of all those things. And this is Beau's image right here. You definitely see the bottom of platform habitat. They're just demarcation points. And you can see up near those cranes in the background, the horizon. His glorious head is way past the geometric limitations. We've already established that. But let's continue the video because there's so much more in this video. That is just the first observation that he's made from 1.5 foot observer height. So what else can we see from this same 1.5 foot observer height? Got heaps of things going on here. On the right, platform Grace. From right to left, Grace, Gilda, Henry, Gale, Hoochin, and Hogan. And zoom back out, you can see it without even zooming in. You can see those platforms without even zooming in. It's not the best quality on this stream. I did try to upgrade it just for today, but I had to pay for the full month, and that's $40. And yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that. But go to BMLSB69's channel. You can see the HD 4K footage. It is glorious. And so when he zooms in, you're seeing all these platforms, and you can't even see Anacapa Arch yet. It's there in the background. But with the P1000, we can get the clarity that we need. So platform Henry, 7 miles. You can see the horizon far in the distance there. That's great clarity. You're definitely seeing the bottom of platform Henry there, and the horizon far in the distance. But how far? How far is that horizon? It'd be great if we had a demarcation point. So platform Gale, 24.71 miles. It's 150 foot tall. Platform Hoochin, 7.3 miles. Platform Hogan, 7.5 miles. You can see the horizon far in the distance past these. There's platform Gale again. I'm just going to pause it here when we get a good image. So that horizon there, Globe Believers, is that Earth curve cutting off the bottom of that image? Can we not see the bottom of platform? Which one was it? That wasn't Gale. No, it was Gale. Can we not see the bottom of platform Gale because of the Earth curve horizon? Is that why we can't see the bottom of platform Gale there? Your horizon, the geometric physical Earth curve, can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of observer's height in feet. From 1.5 observer height. You can only have the geometric limitation, the physical Earth curve edge of 1.5 miles. Absolutely ludicrous to assert that we are still living on a globe of 3959 miles radius. And this platform Gilda, 21.28 miles. These are just great observations. I'm going to compare these, especially this one, Platform Grace. Going to be comparing this to some other footage, because this isn't the first time that Bo has seen Platform Grace, but it's definitely the first time from this observer height. So Platform Grace, 19.8 miles. Just zooming back out just to show you that he hasn't changed his observer height. Still on that rock. And this is the kill shot. This is the #1 globe killer. After we go look at some other platforms, I know it is awesome. The clarity of these is amazing. You need to go to his channel and you need to see it in 4K. It is beautiful. All right, here it comes. The #1, the new #1 globe killer. Left of Platform Grace is Anacaparachen rock. Now that is an elevation of Anacaparachen rock at 85 foot elevation height. 31.82 miles to Anacaparachen Arch. We are definitely seeing that from a 1.5 foot observer height. This is amazing footage by BMLSB69 Bo. John Furr sends me a super sticker of 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much, John Furr. Sorry, guys, I haven't been looking at the chat too much, but I'm overwhelmed by the support that I've received from this. You guys need to go and support Bo as well. I'm not sure if he even monetizes his channel. He just puts these out for free. He just does this for fun. But this is an observation from a 1.5 foot observer height. We can see Anacaparachen Arch, 31.82 miles away. This is the new #1 globe killer. Yeah, we've already established that we do not have a geometric, physical edge of a globe. We've always established that. Since January 1, 2020, the globe has been dead. Make no mistake. Okay, this is just upgrading, just seeing how far we can actually see. When I compared those two images of the old black swan and the new black swan, I was comparing to see how far we can push that horizon. Because yeah, we said back in January 1, 2020, that the horizon could be about 10 miles. We didn't actually know how far that horizon could be. And then we've got further clarity that the horizon's definitely even further than that in the new images from 1.5 foot observer height of platform habitat. And it's far, far, far in the distance. But how far? Well, if we're using Anacaparachen Arch as a demarcation points, 31.82 miles away, we're seeing a horizon from 1.5. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again until you guys get it, Globers. Us flat earthers get it. We know how glorious it is to see these images, to see this footage. It is absolutely insane to think that you're still living on a globe. So what could if you still think you are living on a globe, what is the new distance to, what is the new radius? Okay, so just using Grace, 19.81 miles. We can say that the horizon is definitely past 20 miles, just using Platform Grace in the foreground here. So Platform Grace, 19.81 miles, we can say that the distance to the horizon is definitely past 20 miles. We'll just use 20 miles from a 1.5 foot observer height. Seeing the horizon at 20 miles gives a new radius to your globe of 704,000 miles. Now that's almost double the size of the heliocentric sun. In this instance here, the claimed size of the radius of the heliocentric sun is about 430,000 miles. Is this globe that you think you're living on, globe believers? Is this almost twice the size of your heliocentric sun? Yeah, it's farcical, isn't it? Yeah, we're all laughing at this. You are not living on a globe. And it definitely hasn't got a radius of 3959 miles. This is probably the second best black swan, just using platform grace. The original black swan's been bumped down to fourth at this point. Yeah, from 1 foot observer height, seeing 10-mile distance to the horizon. That's probably the fourth. It was the number one globe killer. That's probably the fourth now. Third was in this video at the start, seeing platform habitat with the horizon even further in the distance. That was third. Third best globe killer. Second, if we're using platform grace as a demarcation point, 1.5 foot observer height. We can see the distance horizon past 20 miles. If you call it 20 miles, the new radius is 704,000 miles. But we're not giving them an inch. We're not giving the globe anything, because we can see in the background of that, to the left, Anacapa Arch and Rock, 31.82 miles away from a 1.5 foot observer height. That puts your radius, if you still think you're living on a globe somehow, the new radius is 1.77 million miles away. And these are the nice calculations. This is just a calculation done by Adam Meakin using, because you have to use miles and feet in the same calculation. It's pretty accurate. But Quantum Eraser says, using an even more accurate method, it could be up to 2.3 million mile radius. If you thought if you thought the number one black swan, the number one globe killer, 1 foot observer height to 10 miles, that used to be 264,000 mile radius, and we were having a great laugh for the better part of 22 months. Using platform grace, 1.5 foot observer height. Minimum horizon distance is 20 miles. That puts the new radius at 704,000 miles, but we're not going to stop there. We're using this. This is the number one globe killer. Updated 4K by Bo, BMLSB69. Go subscribe to his channel right now. This is the updated number one globe killer. Yeah, it's not a flat earth proof, but if you think you're living on a globe with 1.77 million mile radius, how much curvature do you think you're actually going to be seeing? At this point, the Earth is over 4 times bigger than the claimed heliocentric sun of radius 430,000 miles. That is what the claimed heliocentric sun radius is. You have now got an Earth that your feet are standing on that cannot have a radius less than 1.77 million miles from this observation right here by Bo. Absolute globe destroyer. So if we go through the Modus tollens again, yeah, we can put this through the Modus tollens again. So if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If P, we're living on a globe with radius 3959 miles, then Q, the distance to the horizon in every instance can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer height in feet. Not Q. The distance to the horizon is definitely not limited to 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It is not every single distance to the horizon that we're seeing being limited to 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's already been established, but this absolutely blows it out of the water. So not P. We are definitely not living on a globe of radius 3959 miles. And yeah, let's go through the refraction argument again, because where's it taking you globers at the moment with this is the number one globe killer. What about the number one flat earth proof, the sextant? How do we use the sextant? If you're saying that there are bendy cranes, that there's refraction in this, that you can't achieve a straight line from the sextant to the horizon, the sextant is absolutely useless to you if that's what you're claiming. Bendy light, a bent line from the observer to the horizon. Yeah, it's absolutely good. You can't achieve celestial navigation on a globe with a bent line from the observer, which is what you're observing through the sextant. That is the angle measuring device. You need that flat baseline. That's been confirmed by some globe believers that tomorrow's show is going to be a great show. Every show is a great show, but it's shows like this that has globe killers in it. And then tomorrow's show is going to, I think I'm going to title it The Globe Debunking the Globe. Because that's what the globe believers are doing right now. They're scrambling. They're in panic mode. They were been in panic mode since January 1, 2020. I don't know how they're going to take this. I haven't seen anyone attempt to explain this from the globe side. It's only been a couple of days. Give them time. They still haven't got the original black swan argument. Yeah, the Modus tollens. That the horizon is the argument, not the bloody platforms. But that's okay. They're still playing catch up. I wonder how they're going to respond to this. There is no response. Like I said, we have just dug up the globe that was already dead and buried. It was already settled that we did not have a geometric horizon. Yeah, it's been settled since January 1, 2020. We're just seeing how far we can push this now. There is no radius to your Earth because there is no geometric horizon. How much further are we going to see? This is definitely not the limit to how far we see, because there are some things in the works. 10th Man, he is working on, like, it is immense how far we can push the distance to the horizon. It is immense. It's not going to stop here. Like, I was so excited to see 31.82 miles. The stuff that is in the pipeline that we can. The Sextant is the number one flat Earth proof, and we're going to be seeing. 10th Man's just been sitting on this for a bit. He's just laying the trap, just laying the foundations to this number one flat Earth proof. We haven't even got to the juicy parts yet. It's going to be glorious. There's so much in the works. There's so much pain for the globe believers, but there is so much truth for those of you who want to see these images for what they really are. We are looking across a flat plane. That is how the sextant works. In every single occasion, you have to have a flat plane to be measuring angles to with the sextant. That is why it's the number one flat Earth proof. I think that there's a bit more in this as well. I'll keep playing the video, because at the end it's we're actually, when I say the original black swan is the fourth best globe killer, it's probably even it's bumped down another peg. I forgot the end of this video, because Bo goes and puts the observer height at even less than 1.5 foot. I'll say less than half a foot. That's where we're going next. Over here. And this is great footage. Now, I do want to compare footage from, look, he's putting it on the sand here now. There's no rocks underneath him. From less than a half a foot. This is looking at the original black swan, the platforms, hill house and habitat there. Definitely see the horizon in the background past those demarcation points of 9.4 miles. It is glorious from less than half a foot observer height. And we can see Santa Cruz Island point 27 miles away. 120-foot elevation out there. That's just some cool observations. But these images and footage by Bo, BMLSB69, are outrageously good. I think he does one more in this video. And this is just the raw footage here. I've just let it play out. I'm definitely going to be chopping and changing some of them. Definitely going to be putting it into the Modus tollens argument. Like these images and footage are definitely going to be put into a very, very concise argument, just like the original Black Swan was. Just epic observations by Bo. All right, I want to go back to platform Grace, where all the pain starts for this new Black Swan. All right, so that's what we can see from the weekend's footage. Now, I just want to compare this. So see the clarity. See, we can definitely see the bottom of platform Grace there, and we can definitely see Anacapa Rock Arch. Like this is from a 1.5 foot observer height. Just 1.5 foot observer height. Now I want to compare this clarity from a 1.5 foot observer height to, because this isn't the first time that Bo has captured platform Grace or Anacapa Rock Arch. Anacapa Rock or Arch. All right, this is, when was this? 13th of March, he published this, 2017. All right, so try and make this the best quality I can with my setup. All right, so this is a 35 foot observer height, looking out, same direction. Just to put into perspective how good that footage was on the weekend. So zooming in, pretty sure that's platform Grace there. This is from 35 feet. Right there, platform Grace. From 35 feet. Yeah, from 35 feet. Like I said, this isn't the first time that Bo has captured platform Grace, but let's go back to just keep that image in your head. You can barely make out if we're seeing the bottom of platform Grace there from 35 foot elevation height. That is his observer height. Barely make out if we're seeing the bottom of platform Grace there. Now going back to the weekend's footage, look at that, from a 1.5 foot observer height. Just to put in perspective how great this footage is. It cannot be understated how awesome the conditions were on this day for Bo on the weekend. To see that far, you can definitely see the bottom of platform Grace. From a 1.5 foot observer height, which he struggled 4 years ago to see the bottom of platform Grace from a 35 foot observer height. And now we're seeing way past that. We're seeing Anacapa Arch 31.82 miles. Definitely seeing the bottom of platform Grace at 20 miles. That's just how good this Black Swan actually is. It is. There's never been a better time to be a flat earther. It is glorious. I think there's some heated arguments going on in the chat here. Nothing to do with these observations, I don't think. When do you want to fill me in? I'm definitely not going through all these chats. But if there is a rebuttal to the original Black Swan, you have to start with the original Black Swan to work your way up to this. Get past the first step. Yeah, we've been going through the original Black Swan since January 1st, 2020. We haven't got a single decent rebuttal to disprove what we're seeing, to get your globe back. The globe still hasn't been proven. Yeah, the globes, the trolls never pay attention to the video, do they? Yeah, they always like to. That's why I don't pay attention to the chat too much. There are some awesome people in here, but there's also some trolls. When you're a mod, You have permission to time people out if they're just making stupid, repetitive arguments that we've heard time after time. I want to hear from people that are actually looking at this observation, actually looking at the argument presented to them. I want to get your opinion on this. How far can we push this? Is this the limit to what we're going to see, 31.82 miles from a 1.5 foot observer height? Yeah, Armin says, yeah, they're very triggered. That's what people do when they're being called out, when they have a religion, when they have a belief that they're hanging on to so tight, and we're absolutely grabbing and smashing it. Like I said, this has been buried since January 1, 2020. We've just dug it up. We've put C4 and TNT in the coffin, and we've just blown it beyond recognition, just vaporized. There is absolute no remnants of the globe left with this observation. Do we have a 1.77 million mile radius, globe believers? 7/6R is not going to get you out of this one. You need the R in the first instance. You're begging the question. That's what every single globe proof starts with, begging the question. You're starting with the premise as if you've already proven it. The thing that you're trying to prove, you're already saying, yeah, we've got that. Yeah, because we live on a globe. That's how it starts off with. And then they go into some proofsies. Prove that we're on a globe to begin with. Just Jack says, J-Toll and Media 1, infrared, long distance, much greater. Has there been a most tollens argument for J-Toll and Media's observations? That'll be interesting. From his observation height to the distances that he's seeing. Well, I wonder what the radius turns out for that. Is it past 1.77 miles? We could have had a really awesome black swan way before this. But as it stands right here, this is the #1 globe killer. The most epic black swan that we have ever presented here. And it is a pleasure to present it to you on Flat Earth School because this is our reality. We need to go out and make these observations for ourselves. We need to look at our world as a school, as a teacher. It is the best teacher you will ever get. You just need to see your reality for what it is. Do not let people tell you what it is. It's observations like this that proves that we cannot be living on a globe of radius 39.59 miles. At best, all you've done is disprove the radius of the Earth. Yeah, that's what one very unwitting anti-flat earther glober told me when I presented the original black swan to him. At best, all we've done is disprove the radius of the Earth. And at the time, I think he's got it by now, that you need the radius for absolutely everything. But at the time, he did not know how devastating that statement is. At best, all we've done is disprove the radius of the Earth. Yeah. It's now at 1.77 million miles radius. It used to be 39.59 miles. In the mainstream narrative, it is a little bit past that now, 1.77 million miles. If anyone wants to pull this up on the maths, go through it. Because maths proves things, right? What about this maths? From a 1.5 foot observer height, seeing the horizon 31.82 miles away. What does that put the radius of your globe at? 1.77 million miles. More than 4 times the radius of your claimed heliocentric model sun. The radius of the sun being claimed at 430,000 miles. This new #1 globe killer black swan image puts the radius of this globe that you think you're standing on 1.77 million miles. It is glorious. There is no coming back for the globe. It is all up to each individual to make their own decisions here. You can beguck refraction. That's going to lead to some more pain with the sextant. And this isn't gonna be the #1 globe killer for all time. There are going to be better images, better footage, better globe killers than this. But as it stands right now, 31.8 miles at a 1.5 foot observer height. This is an enormous globe killer. It is the heavyweight champion of the world, the #1 globe killer. I keep saying it over and over so the globers actually get it, so they can look at it and they can work out where we're going to go from this. Obviously, let's see how predictable they are. Are they going to go back to refraction? Is there a new argument for this? Is there a new rebuttal for this? Because refraction causes them a whole world of pain with the sextant. Cannot achieve angles if you haven't got a flat baseline from the sextant, from the observer to the horizon. Yeah, bendy light, can't achieve any angles, can't use the sextant in your world. Us flat earthers, we don't have any problems. We have straight lines from our observer to the horizon wherever we look. There is no bendy light. It is a straight, flat baseline, so we can achieve angles to celestial bodies. All right, this has been an absolute epic edition of Flat Earth School. I want to thank Bo, BMLSB69. Everyone needs to go and subscribe to him right now. And yeah, I'd love to stay here and just repeat this over and over and over until the globers believe it. But since January 1, 2020, there's still anti-flat earthers, globe believers that don't get it. So I'm going to be sitting here a while. But this is a lot for them to chew on. Maybe start at the original Black Swan, work your way up. Work your way to Platform Grace, 20 mile, at least a minimum of 20 miles to the horizon from a 1.5 foot observer height. And then work your way up to the #1 globe killer, 1.5 foot observer height, 31.82 miles to the horizon. If you feel like the world turns on you, turn to Flat Earth School, like Bo has done right here. It is around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I've been Mitchell from Australia. This has been the #1 globe killer. If you do like my work, please support me. Patron, PayPal, purchase my wife's book. The links are all in the description. It has never been a better day to be a flat earther. I congratulate you all for being here and seeing what our world actually is. And until tomorrow, guys, the Earth has absolutely been proven to be flat. Keep happy and healthy, everyone.